Parshat Vayigash is the climax of the three parshiot that deal with the tension between Yosef and his brothers. We began in Parshat Vayeshev by seeing how much the brothers hated Yosef to the point that they were willing to consider killing him and actually sold him into slavery in Egypt. Parshat Miketz, Yosef ascends to the viceroy of Egypt and the brothers are forced to bow before him, seeking food to stay alive. After Binyamin is caught with the goblet, we now read in Parshat Vayigash how Yehuda petitions Yosef to allow Binyamin to return to the aging father Yaakov in Eretz Canaan. Yosef can no longer control himself and he's forced to admit his true identity. And this obviously is a climactic moment. The brothers are totally blown away. They couldn't answer him. Ki nivalu mipanav. They were totally bewildered. All of their assumptions were wrong. But this parsha is much more of a turning point in the sense that Yosef not only reveals his identity, but changes the whole narrative. He tells the brothers that the solution to what's happening is not going to be allowing them to return to Eretz Canaan, but the whole family, including Yaakov, now coming down to Egypt. And the question is where this reversal comes from. If we look carefully at the psukim, the beginning of Perek Memhei, Yosef asks his brothers to draw close. He tells them not to be sad, not to be angry about what happened. Ki lemichyash lachani Elokim lefnechem. You may have wanted to sell me into slavery, but God saw it as a way of sending me to keep us all alive. And he continues in Pasuk Vav, Ki zesh shnatayim harav bekaref haaretz v'od chamesh shanim yisharein charish v'katzir. There's been a famine for 2 years and there are another 5 pending. Vayishlacheni Elokim lefnechem lasum lechem sheirit ba'aretz. Continues Yosef, God sent me not only to keep you alive, but here in Egypt to help us turn into the great people Avram, our grandfather, was told, our great-grandfather, that we would become. You're not the ones who sent me here. It's God. And he put me in charge of all this in order to facilitate the growth of the Jewish people. We see here in Yosef not only turning a lemon into lemonade, but being able to see in the lemons God's will. And not only when it's an action, when it's an occurrence that happens on its own, but even when human beings take action and do something negative, to be able to see God's will in it, the silver lining, and the goal of what's meant to be. Let's think about this as we live our lives and seek the hand of God and the direction that God wants us to go in all kinds of circumstances.